When you're writing a story, whether it's a short story, novella, or a novel, you need to track your progress in some way. Now, as you might know, I'm starting what I call my Writing Journey 2.0 project, and to do that, I need to track my writing progress. But if you haven't seen it and you don't know what I'm talking about, then go check out last week's episode, which I've linked in the cards above and in the description below, where I go into detail about this new project. Alright, so when it comes to tracking your progress, there are two main areas that you'd want to track. First is your word count, which can also be tracked as page count if that's your preference. And the other area is your overall writing progress, which is basically the different phases of the writing process: the plotting and brainstorming, the drafting, the editing, and the publishing. So, in today's episode, I'm going to walk you through some of the tracking methods that I've tried in the past and also how I intend to track my writing going forward. So, let's get to it. Welcome to Salome's Writer Therapy, where you and your writing connect. Okay, so first, let's talk about tracking the word count. In the past, with my Writing Journey 1.0, let's call it that, I tracked my word count in a daily and weekly calendar. So at the end of my writing day, I would add the total words written to the daily page and the corresponding spot on the weekly spread. Now, the benefit of this was that I could see in that moment, while I was busy in the drafting phase, exactly how much I was writing from day to day, and that helped me to stay motivated and excited about the progress and momentum that I was building up. But the problem with this, however, was that it didn't work so well when I wanted to see the overall progress of the project or to pick up on any trends or patterns, because writing a novel, at least for me, takes more than a couple of weeks, and that was beyond the scope of how I was tracking at the time. So, going forward with my Writing Journey 2.0 project, which I'll be sharing on this channel over the next couple of months, my intention is to track my word count in sprints with a weekly and monthly overview of the total words written. This way, I can still get the motivation from seeing the daily progress from using the sprint tracker, but I can also look for any patterns or trends that come up with my writing routine or with the things that's happening in my life. So I can double down on what works and cut out what doesn't work, because it's crucial to remember that we don't write in a vacuum, right? Our writing affects our lives and our lives affects our writing. And it's important to know how that dynamic works and to find the right balance for who we are and where we are in our lives at that moment. Now, I'll go into detail on exactly how I'll be doing the tracking in just a moment, but before I do, I also just want to talk about tracking my overall writing progress. So, to be honest, in the past, I didn't actually track my overall writing progress. I didn't track how long the different phases took me. And at the time, I didn't see the need for it. And it felt like extra work that I didn't have time for. And also, as we're being honest, there was this, I don't know, egotistical part of me, I guess, that believed I would just remember how long things take. But I realized that by not tracking it, I couldn't plan anything. I didn't know how long it took me to brainstorm, to finish a rough draft, or anything else, which meant that I couldn't estimate my timelines, and it added to my feelings of overwhelm and frustration. Now, I know you don't need to know exact numbers for a timeline, but if you need to schedule editors, cover designers, or anything else that you need in order to publish, then you need to know your estimates. And yes, in last week's episode, I also said that I'm not planning ahead, but taking it a day at a time, and that is still true, because tracking how long it takes isn't about future planning. It just gives me a confidence in that future because I know it's handled today, if that makes any sense. I'm basically taking a load off future me's shoulders, and the hope is that it will help me to focus on the actual writing. And so I think it's a good idea to know how long it takes you to move through the phases, because it can minimize some of the overwhelm later on. Alright, so going forward, I intend to track my overall writing progress in my planner with start and end dates for each phase of the process. Now, the cool thing is, I created a planner for myself that includes space for all of this. It has dedicated word count and sprint trackers, weekly and monthly overview pages, as well as a writing progress page with space to track the start and end dates of every phase. It also has a lot of other cool stuff like reference pages for story elements, brainstorming pages, and a 3-month undated planner with monthly, weekly, and daily spreads, as well as some other cool pages and spreads. And because I decided to start this project, this Writing Journey 2.0, I also made the decision to make the work in progress planner that I created for myself available to you. So, if you're like me and you want one place where you can organize everything together for your writing project or your work in progress, then go check out my Etsy store, Salome's Writer Therapy, where I have various designs and formats of this work in progress planner available. I have it linked in the description down below, so go check it out. So yeah, that's how I intend to track my word count and writing progress going forward. Now tell me, what methods do you use? Leave a comment down below and let us know. And also, you wouldn't want to miss out on next week's episode because I'm going to do a complete walkthrough of how I brainstorm and plan out the elements that I want to include in my story. I will also be sharing a free template that you can download, so be sure to subscribe so you can get notified when it comes out. Now, just the last thing before I go. If you're starting on your own writing journey or you're considering writing a story and you're unsure of what is the best writing software to use, check out the episode that I've linked on the screen and in the description below, where I talk about my top 3 writing softwares. So, until next time, may your creativity flow freely and your fingers dance upon the keys. Keep writing with joy and stay connected. Cheers.